Hello students, how are you guys? My name is 𝗼𝘾𝘁𝗶𝗂𝗰𝗃 and I'll be your tutor for the paper of AFM. In today's lecture, definitely we are not going into the details of the main syllabus area, but definitely this is an introductory lecture. So I'll focus on the paper pattern, syllabus, and how to pass it, so that it would be easier for you to understand this paper. Okay, so first of all, I'll be discussing the AFM paper pattern. Paper pattern of this paper is you have two sections. Section A will be of case study. Case study 50 marks. It will be 50 marks question. You will be given a case study type question, and in this question you might expect at least 20 marks calculation and at least 20 marks for theory. Although we had a paper yesterday, and in that paper question number 1 was more likely a calculative one. Although paper was very predictable, but it was calculation heavy paper, in which in question number 1, often students basically they give me the feedback that around 25 to 28 marks were available in question number 1 for the calculation, and 10 marks are available for professional marks. We have professional presentation. I'll discuss about professional marks as well. But first of all, let me complete the paper pattern. Then we will move onwards. Section B. Section B comprises of two questions, question number 2 and question number 3. Both questions will be of 25 marks each. Same pattern. In both questions, expect 10 to 12 marks for calculation plus 8 marks theory minimum plus 5 marks for professional presentation. Same is the case with question number 3 as well. So overall, if I conclude this paper pattern, out of this 100 marks paper, we have 3 main portions here. Number 1, at least you will have 40 marks for calculation. You will have 40 marks for theoretical discussion and 20 marks for professional presentation. Okay, low. So some of you students might be you have basically given the papers, professional papers. Just a second, please. Might be some of you have already been through the professional paper. In your last 4 papers, like AFM, APM, ATX, and AAA, you will have 20 professional marks, like a paper in your SBL. So effectively, you will have a paper of 80 marks. So might be possible that it will give you an edge, because you are not required to complete the 100 marks paper requirements. You will be only asked to have a paper of 80 marks plus 20 marks are available for your presentation. But the thing which I noticed over here in the yesterday's exam and in the previous exam as well, although students are required to answer only 80 marks paper, but even then they weren't able to complete the paper. Yesterday's paper was quite predictable, but even then they weren't basically able to complete the paper. Majority of students, they completed the paper almost 80 to 85%. So from here, I'll basically go through that why students are not being able to complete the paper. So first of all, it is your bifurcation of the paper. But now let me clear you one thing. Out of this 40 marks theory, if you have, I think only 10 to 15 marks theory will be from book. That's it. Remaining theory, it will be purely application. This means that in this paper, if you stuck in the book, go through the test your understanding kind of things, memorizing the book ideas and book reading, and you are basically spending a lot of time on book reading, it will give you nothing. Because as you are seeing the pattern, only 10 to 15% of the paper is from the books, which will help you. Like if I talk about yesterday's paper, the student give me the feedback. It was only 5 plus, I think, 7. 12 marks are from the books. Otherwise, 88% paper was not from the book. It was totally application. And what is the meaning of application theory? Means, for example, now listen carefully. In first part of the question, you are required to solve some of the numerical portion. In second part of the question, you are required to interpret your results. This is what I call an application theory. So might be some of you will find out quite easier, because some of the students find out that it is very difficult to memorize the lengthy topics and find it easier one to apply the concept on the knowledge they have, and they basically just apply the knowledge on the calculation. So it might give you an edge. So now I'll be focusing on the areas how you can pass this paper. But before that, why students fail this paper? Why they fail this paper? The main question is, first of all, it is a myth that students often fail AFM paper. It is a myth. Because if I compare the other papers, we have AAA, we have APM, we have AFM, and we have ATX. As far as AAA and APM is concerned, their passing rate is the most lowest, you can say the almost 32 to 33, 34%. AFM and ATX, they have almost the same passing rate, ranging from 33, 34% to sometimes 40%. So now tell me, where is the difficulty? So it is a myth that AFM paper passing rate is low. No, its passing rate is quite good. Second point, students often find out that AFM is basically related with a topic called risk management, or a topic which you have studied in your paper F9 or financial management called hedging. And you know, in your paper FM, 90% of students often find out the topic of hedging as the most difficult topic, because they don't understand the basic concept of hedging over there. But I tell you, whenever I have the feedback from the students after the paper, hedging question is the most favorite question of students. Most favorite question. Because hedging techniques are just like mathematics. If you follow the basic steps which I will guide you, then it is my guarantee that you are not going to fail that question. It is the most, you can say, initially you will feel it quite difficult. Initially, when we will going to start this topic, definitely you are going to be in a trouble. But once you are into the topic and you are into the practice, then you will going to understand that yes, it is quite easier one. I can do it. And definitely when you will be able to solve 3 to 4 practice questions of hedging, then you will be able to find out, oh yes, this question is my favorite one. And if I see this question in the exam, definitely I'll score good one. Now, definitely one advice. I am not going to give this advice, but it is up to you. Like for example, kind of paper we have, some of like for example, uh, hedging question might appear in question number 2 or 3, or it might appear in section number 8. So first of all, give just 2 to 3 minutes and find out which question you want to start with. But I think in 80% chances, do start your paper from question number 1. Keep it in sequence, okay? Because it will give you a better idea of the paper. So second point is, hedging is not a difficult topic. It is a myth. You can do it. Third point, paper is quite calculation heavy paper. Calculations heavy paper. And definitely here calculations are very lengthy, sometimes very complex, and sometimes you can say if you stuck in any calculation, that might waste your 20-25 minutes straight away. To answer this myth, this is not myth, this is reality. This is reality. And how you can overcome the problem of calculation, the only way to overcome it, and that's it, practice a lot. Nothing else. Practice a lot. If you have a good practice of calculation, then you will be able to save your time in your exam, as well as you can gain maximum marks for the calculation portion of your paper. As far as calculations are concerned for AFM, the only solution is, and that is, you have to practice a lot. And from your first lecture, I am giving you this tip. The only way to pass this paper is to solve the maximum portion of your revision kit. That's it. So the next point is, student, they do not practice the revision kit. This is one of the biggest reason for the failure in this paper. They do not practice a lot from the revision kit. They just understand the topic and have the practice of 1 or 2 questions from each of the topic like they did in the other papers, and they expect that we're going to tackle the question in the exam. No, it will not going to happen. If you have the probability of doing this in your previous paper as 50%, in this paper, lack of practice will definitely give you failure. So the only thing I would recommend, I am not going to say that you should not read the book. Okay, go for it. But instead of reading and reading more and more, spending more and more time on the reading of the book, go and spend your time on the revision kit question. And that I will tell you which questions you should follow, which questions you should do. Okay, so these are the myths why AFM paper is considered to be a difficult one. And now, solution. I have the solution, and solution is only one solution, and that is practice, practice, and practice. That's it. That's it. That is why my whole focus will be on the practice a lot. My whole focus on your, basically during your course, will be on the practice questions. And yes, try at least 2 exams on spreadsheets so that you will be able to get a better understanding of your time management. I know some of you might be having some job over there and you are already into the Excel practice. Might be possible some of you have already gone through some professional paper and you have a practice of Excel and spreadsheets and Word, etc. But at least I am not saying that you should practice every question on Excel and Word sheet. No, I am not saying that. I am just suggesting you to have to go through the questions, practice them the way you want to. But at least at the end of your syllabus, practice 2 questions in a real-time scenario so that it will give you a better understanding. Now, how we will proceed? How we will proceed? Definitely, you have to follow my way or my method, and you will be able to find out that how I will cover the whole areas of the syllabus. Okay, so for that purpose, I will first of all tell you about the syllabus because it will give you better understanding. Remember, AFM has, you can say, predictable 4 topics, very much predictable. The first topic is investment appraisal. Second question is, second section is risk management. Third part is corporate reconstruction. And fourth one is acquisition and mergers. So we have only 4 areas. And as far as question number 1 case study is concerned, that is a 50 marks question. You have a case study from any of these 4 topics. Like if I discuss recent papers, you have a case study from acquisition mergers. In the previous exam, it was from risk management. So it is up to the examiner. In some exam, case study was from investment appraisal. In some exam, case study was from corporate reconstruction. So in question number 1, definitely. And remember one thing, if case study is from, let's say, for example, risk management, corporate reconstruction, or acquisition merger, even then you will expect some parts that are related with investment appraisal. So this is the beauty of investment appraisal topic. That is why I am putting maximum percentage of the syllabus on investment appraisal. Almost 60% of your syllabus is related with investment appraisal. So I repeat, if you have a question, case study from risk management, corporate reconstruction, or acquisition merger, even then in the parts you will have a question, you will have a requirement from investment appraisal. It might be like, for example, you have to prepare the you have to calculate WACC, weighted average cost of capital. You might be required to prepare the free cash flows, that is also related to investment appraisal. You might be required to discuss on the dividend policy, that is also related with investment appraisal. So in any way, question number 1 will have a parts from investment appraisal. As far as question number 2 and question number 3 is concerned, so if you have a case study from the investment appraisal, corporate reconstruction, and acquisition merger, then you will expect one complete question from hedging in section B. Okay, then one complete question from hedging. And question number 3, remaining topic. In short, all 4 topics will be checked. That's it. Very easier one, very predictable paper. In any case, all 4 topics will be examined in your paper. Might be possible some topics will be assessed in question number 1, the remaining topics will be assessed in question number 2 and 3. If in the next paper, the topics which were previously assessed and question number 2 and 3 may be possible in the next exam, they will be assessed in question number 1. So all 4 topics are important here. All 4 topics, they are important here. Okay. Then this is the syllabus and how we will proceed. We will first of all focus on calculative portions. And calculative portion of, we will start with the investment appraisal. Like first topic would be, the basic topic, techniques of investment appraisal. First of all, we will cover those topics. Then we will be proceeding towards cost of capital calculations. And thirdly, we will be concluding them in finding NPV or of the project. Then we will proceed to adjusted present value, APV method. This is a new topic. You are not basically familiar with this topic. First of all, we will cover the calculation of these 4 topics. Then we will move towards some of the theoretical portions. And all these topics are covered with well-explained examples. We will cover every topic with the help of the example. Okay, so this is how we will first complete investment appraisal, then we'll move towards the corporate reconstruction, then acquisition merger, and in the last we will be having risk management topic. Okay, so this is how we will going to cover our syllabus. And after, let's say after 60-70% completion of investment appraisal topic, we will start revision kit questions and we will practice a lot. Or in total, we have 60 lectures. And out of these 60 lectures, I think we have more than 25 lectures related with revision kit. So from this, you can just imagine that how much I'll be focusing on practicing from revision kit. Okay, so to cover this lecture, in this lecture, we have discussed the paper pattern, the reason for the failure of the students, the syllabus area, and then how we will going to proceed and from which topic we will going to proceed. And at the end, the key is you have to practice a lot. You have to practice a lot. Just as basically I'll give you the guideline, how you should proceed, how you should solve the question. And definitely, I'll be giving you support on WhatsApp. If you have any query, I'll be giving you support. I'll be basically answering your queries. I am definitely into it. Just give me your just send me your query, and if the query is lengthy one, then give me the snapshot from the book or the notes. Whenever I have a time, I'll be responding to you. It is my duty. I'll be available for you. Okay. Second number, even then, if you have some problem and problem is not resolved, we have one live class weekly and Saturdays. So, and on Saturdays, definitely I'll try not to basically go into the topics. I will try to have a practice question from the past paper on the live classes. So for that purpose, I would like that if you complete the homework for the week, that will definitely give you the better understanding of the practice question that we will follow in the exam, in the live class. Okay, so my focus will be in the live class on the practice revision kit. For that purpose, I will basically give you the homework for the whole week, and I am expecting that you will doing that homework. You will be into that homework. But in this week, I am just giving you the homework to watch the lecture number 1 to 4. That's it. Not giving too much, because I know this is our first class and some of the students will be joining us soon. So definitely I'll be a bit slower one during the first week. But in the next live class, we will be discussing a very important topic, and that is cost of capital and WACC. But before that, I would recommend you to watch the first 4 lectures, and that those 4 lectures are related with techniques of investment appraisal. Okay, so you have any question from your side, you can ask me. Yes, if you have any question, you can ask me.
Okay, I wanted to ask if
Yes.
on the calculations, let's say the figures are wrong, will you get marks?
Please, rephrase your question. Repeat your question, please.
Okay, I'm saying on the calculations,
Yes.
let's say maybe the figures are not correct. Will you be
Okay.
awarded marks?
This is the question which many students basically they are worried about, that if we are wrong in a calculation, what about the impact? Impact is very simple. You have already gone through many of the ACCA paper where you have that mistake. That mistake will not be carried forward to the next step. Number one. Number two, you will ask a question, then sir, one mistake, definitely one wrong calculation can make the decision vice versa. For example, if uh, your right calculation will go for a decision opting, and your wrong calculation is saying that you should not go for the project, then what should be the result? Then, okay, for that purpose, in this paper, always remember, wherever you find out that you are stuck in the calculation, just leave it and justify your calculation with your explanation. This is what we can say the beauty of this paper. Whenever you find out that you are not into the calculation, try to have it, just give it 1 or 2 minutes, leave it, move on to next calculation. And if you see the calculations are linked with the previous one, then leave it and try to focus on the explanation of your calculation. Because sometimes it happens that you know the explanation of calculation, but you don't know the techniques of how of the calculation or application of the calculation. So I think this is a kind of relaxation or flexibility in this paper, and vice versa. Again, vice versa means that if you are weak in explanation, you can support it by showing as much as calculation you have. So it is basically going to be on either way. If you are weak in calculation, if you are wrong in calculation, then support your calculation with the justification through explanation. And if you are weak in explanation, then you should try to give the details of the calculation. So this is vice versa. Okay. So I think if you have made a mistake, you make a mistake in your paper, that mistake will cost you. That's it. its impact on the theory, its impact on the answer is not going to impact you. Okay, now it's clear?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, okay, take care. Take care. We will have a class next week.
Okay, thank you, sir.